What's up, guys? If you're watching this, you probably just watched my video on brewery insurance in general, but you're maybe more interested right now in liquor liability insurance. It seems like a complicated topic, but really it's not. So I'm going to help you break it down and understand exactly what you need to know so that you're not going to worry that someone's going to leave your establishment and ruin everything you've worked so hard to build. So let's look at the sobering statistics first before we get into how this policy works for you. 29 people are killed by drunk drivers every day. That's not every year, that's not every month, it's not even every week, it's every single day. And so as a brewery owner, anyone who serves in their establishment has to share some of the responsibility for the things that happen in that terrible statistic. Now, whether we want to or not, we're a part of that. So that's why you have to have brewery insurance. Now, you may say to me, listen, my guys are amazing, they never overserve, everything is perfect in my business. Now, you're probably not saying that, but you may want to say that to me. And I would say to you, 1.4% of all people that leave a brewery, a bar, anywhere where they're drinking, report to being drunk when they leave. So what that means is at some point while they're being served, they've been served too much. And while you can't really stop people from getting drunk in bars, I mean, that's kind of a pipe dream, right? But what you can do is you can serve responsibly. And so the court system believes that there are cases where bars or breweries who serve beer to people are responsible for those people getting drunk, and therefore whatever happens after that. So liquor liability protects you from what happens when people drink at your establishment. Now, there are a few ways, or really a few different kinds of things that happen that you are protected from. And like I've already alluded to, drunk driving is one of the big ones. And it cannot be overstated how terrible drunk driving is. So if you have liquor liability insurance and you have enough, you know you're protected if someone leaves your bar and then they claim that it's your fault. Because if they take you to court, you will be covered and reimbursed for things like court fees, for things like lawyer fees, and really for damages if you are found to be responsible for that accident. So it's vital that you have that. But there are other ways in which you can be responsible for someone else. They don't even have to leave your establishment. Fights in your bar, falls and slips. These are things that happen to every bar everywhere in the country, and I guarantee you they happen in your brewery. So if these things happen and the person can prove, and we all know what that means, prove, it means that they can talk a jury into it, or more likely their lawyer can talk a jury into it, then you could be on the hook for someone beating someone else up at your brewery because they can claim that they were overserved, they can claim it was your fault that they were drunk. So that's really important. Slips and falls, accidents, anytime someone can be hurt and they can claim that it was because they were drunk at your place, there you go. So now there are a couple of ways that you can really limit the exposure to liquor liability risks. And the number one important thing that you can do is employee training. Making sure that your employees go through programs or that they are specifically trained in how to avoid over-serving, how they can tell if someone is inebriated. These are vital to any business that serves alcohol staying in business. So make sure that your bartenders, your brew staff, everyone knows the signs of inebriation and they're trained in how to avoid that and maybe even de-escalate the situation. So that's super, super important. Another thing you may want to think about is evidence. If you have cameras on your premises, make sure that you actually keep that data, because if you ever do go to court and you can prove that you're not the person that was over-serving, or that you even did, for example, stop serving someone, that can go a long way to saving you a ton of money and a ton of time if something happens. Okay, I've lectured you enough about this, but I hope really what I did was educate you on what liquor liability does, why it's so important, and why you need it, especially if you serve on premises. Thanks again, and we need to be talking. So if you found this at all helpful, make sure you click the link below. Let's set aside a time to talk. I can get you in touch with one of our phenomenal agents that deals specifically with brewery insurance, and we can make sure to pair you with a company that is going to get you protected and really, really successful going forward. Thanks, and we'll talk soon.